to the next part of a person-centered journey. You've collected your people, and it doesn't have to be a lot of people, right? It has to be enough people that you feel like you have enough strength and enough support to ask more, to ask what more is possible. So now we're going to move into the discovery phase of a person-centered journey. And the discovery phase is really just learning and listening more about the person and the people around them to discover in a deeper way what actually matters most to people. What are their gifts and their interests, their preferences? What are the assets and possibilities that are already in their life, but they might not be fully expressed yet. And yet we know if we listen and look closely enough, we can find those pieces of a person's life. And in the journey, we strengthen the pieces of the puzzle in a sense of a person's life. And in the kind of person-centered work that I've done all these years, we always imagine that there are 5 to 10 themes in a person's life that are waiting to be discovered and strengthened, okay? It's not a whole lot more than that. It's not 1,400 questions. It's not 20, you know, okay, you're with me there.
Yep.
But in the kind of discovery that I know best, we not only listen to the person, and in listening, whether we're charting or recording on a big piece of paper or in our notes, but in our imagination, we're listening for the green. We're listening for the things that we know bring life in for the person and their sense of what's possible. We're also listening for the red, which are the things that we know don't work, the ways people are stuck and frustrated, disappointed. And we're listening to try to strengthen what we know works, matters, and is there to build on and build up. And we're trying to do what we can to reduce some of the things that are frustrating. Now, we all know in every one of our lives, we always will have red. There's no such thing as just a green life, but we are deciding that there are certain aspects that are red that we're just not going to keep putting up with, right?
Yeah.
So one more thing to say about this, and then I want to ask you about yourself. So the person-centered planning that I know best, it's not only about listening to the person and finding capacities and interest possibilities in listening to the person, but also when we can, we include family and other people who are close. Not everybody has family. Not everybody has family that are helpful to them or that they can rely on, but many people, of course, do. And their family and their family's hopes and aspirations, as well as their family's assets. And when I use the word assets, I'm not talking about money. Well, nothing wrong with money, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about connections. I'm talking about heritage. I'm talking about love, commitment. And so we never underestimate the role and the power of the family in person-centered work, even though sometimes it's not a place that we look to. Now, the other thing that we listen for, learn from, and build on are ways that support people bring capacities in to people's lives. So sometimes that's that is expressed in an interest, like people are a sports fanatic, right? I'm forgetting what the Buffalo team is, sorry.
Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo Bills, how could I? Okay, they're a Buffalo Bills fanatic, and you discover, and so are you. And you discover together that's a common interest, and it gives you a theme to build on and build up, which is your love for Buffalo Bills, right? And so that opens the doors to going to games and being a fan and all kinds of other things. And then finally, and this is an element that we'll talk about at another time because it's so important to me, and it's one of the most missed aspects of the person-centered journey, even after all these years, And that is looking and listening to what's in your community, what's in your neighborhood, what's within walking or rolling distance, but what's right there in the place that you live in that is an asset, that is a strength that you can see and imagine connecting to. And so we're learning about and listening for all of these aspects of a person's life in order to discover at least 5 themes, sort of leads, if you will, that we want to build on and build up. So I want to ask you to share with us an example of something that you know is kind of a theme in your life. It's been important to you for as long as you can remember. And as you've honored that theme over time, it's gotten stronger.
Well, you know I like to use metaphors when I explain things.
Yes, sir.
I think what really matters to me and shows progress that I'm making with all the work that I'm doing is the boulder is moving, and I actually have people to help me move that boulder. I actually have support. It's not just me moving the boulder now. The boulder of the system. I want to clarify that.
Yes, sir. So that is hugely important. And as long as I've known you for 20 years, and that's where knowing each other for a long time really matters, because we can appreciate where we've come from, right? So I know from the first time I met you how passionate you were about the need for systems and organizations to change.
Yep.
It's been a long time coming, right? And
it still has a long way to go.
Amen, brother. We know that. Got a long way to go, because a lot of what organizations and systems have done is they've adopted the language, but they haven't gone deeper into really serious change, right?
Yep, yep.
So share with us an example. So you've already moved this boulder. You've spent your life giving strength to that desire in you to make a difference, to move the boulder. Tell me, give us and give your listeners an example of a part of this boulder that you know you're taking on now. It may have been something you've been working on for 20 years, but now it's like bigger than ever, and they better look out, BJ's coming.
Well, I'm going to keep pushing the person-centered philosophy, because the system should be all about the people that we're working for and with. And I've seen that change because people are actually asking me to be at the table, speaking for those who can't be at the table.
Absolutely. Okay, so this is an example of you having a passion and not letting go of it, inviting and being supported by more and more people to go even deeper into that desire, and widening your influence around it, right?
Yep.
So these are powerful examples. Would you just give, because I know you have many, but can you give an example of finding something in your community that you discovered mattered to you, and as you entered into that, your engagement has become stronger?
Well, I was never really open with my feelings of how religious I am. And I went to that church we spoke about, Wonder Church. And one of the things that struck me about them was how accepting they were. They didn't want to fix me because they realized I wasn't broken. And now I'm on the leadership team for the church. So I make the decisions, help make the decisions, what direction the church is going to go to serve everyone in the community, not just those with disabilities, but everyone.
All right, so BJ, that's incredibly important, right? To help other people understand that even though we might take on big issues like the whole system, in your case, God love you for that, but that there are often times right outside your door, places that don't even know you're missing from them until you show up.
Yep.
And become involved. And then it matters, not only does it matter that you're there, but it changes the whole culture of a place.
Yep.
Right?
It
And I
does.
think I have it right that this church is not even that far from where you live, right?
No, it's right around the corner.
Yes, that's what I thought. So I want to emphasize that to people, that this is a hugely important aspect of a person-centered journey. And after COVID, it's going to become even more so, which is what is literally right there, right
Yeah.
outside your door, within
Yeah.
walking distance, within rolling distance, within a short ride. But sometimes we're not grounded in our journey, and we're not really looking at what is right there. And I like to think that that's really that's the next revolution, is for
Yeah.
people to go deeper into their communities and their neighborhoods.
Absolutely.
Okay.